Welcome back. Here's another installment from the membership area here. Again, of course, you know I'm Joshua Pellissier. I'm happy to help you with today's lesson, which is going to be a really amazing lesson that will sort of add on to something we've learned before. So today's lesson is called Who Am I? Stage 3. So there are two stages before this for how to find out who you are. As you might remember, the first stage was being proud of your past, integrating where you came from into your own personality and being proud of that instead of running away from it or denying it or just accepting it as well. These aren't necessarily going to help you. You need to be proud of where you came from because you cannot change that about yourself. The next stage was then from being proud in your past to recognizing the positive qualities of your heroes. This is where you see the things about the people that you admire and you attain those qualities little by being around them. I do this with my own heroes. You do it with yours automatically anyway. It's just good to kind of go through and realize which people are your heroes and which qualities you do want to gain. Otherwise, you may start taking on their negative qualities as well, and you may become obsessed over their personalities. So the last part of Who Am I is going to be a stage called Your Happiness in the Future. Now, recognizing your happiness in the future is kind of a strange concept because how do you know what's going to happen to you? Well, essentially, you don't know what's going to happen to you, and this is why it's so important. Our minds will begin to simulate different things that they believe are going to happen, and usually we simulate different circumstances under stress. And since we simulate under stress, guess what the simulations look like? Negative, of course. So we need to rewire that neural pathway in our minds and get very clear on what it is that we want to get in the future. Now, in the future, I know there are a lot of sort of exercises that help you get things like money or a beautiful woman or I don't know, confidence. Generally speaking, you can think of like the idea of the secret as one of these different techniques for getting something, this manifestation concept. But I don't really believe fully in that concept. I mean, I do think it's a great idea. I think it's a little bit incomplete, and I think that a lot of people latch onto it and don't see the results that they want. So instead of trying to get something tangible, external in the future, what I wanted to do is I wanted to find out why do we want those things in the first place. And let's get down to the real root of all of what we desire in the world. And you know what, let's take money for example, and this is one of the very simple ones to work backward because money doesn't actually correlate to happiness. It correlates to relief from fear and stress because we believe that when we have money, we won't have to worry about the same survival level principles, survival level ideas that we used to worry about, and we can make larger things happen. And that's for a large part true, actually. I don't think that that's a negative thing or a bad thing to think. But I do think that we want money for another reason. And so let's sort of work this backwards and figure out what it is. So let's say you had more money than you could ever spend ever in your entire life. You have everything you've ever wanted, and this, everything you ever wanted, tangibly. You could buy a jet ski right now and go jet skiing for an hour, dump it in the ocean if you wanted to, which would be bad for the environment. But let's say that you just wanted to, you could give it away, and then come back, eat a steak if that's what you wanted to eat. Stay at a 5-star hotel in the fanciest place there. Never have to worry about money ever. Get nothing but room service every day. Hang out with whomever you wanted to. You could pay for advice, whatever you wanted to pay for. You could build a business. You could do whatever you wanted. So now that you have this freedom, what is it about the freedom that is so enticing, that makes you so excited about this idea of being able to do whatever you want to? Well, at the end of the day, you have to start taking away things that are associated with freedom and see whenever the freedom doesn't make sense anymore for you. Let me show you an example of that. So let's say that you had freedom, but you had no friends. Okay, well, that might not really work out so well. I really like to hang out personally. I like to be around people, but some people don't really care that much. They'd be like, well, if I have ultimate freedom to do whatever I want to, I don't really need friends. I can just go live on an island and drink Mai Tais every day and I don't know, go fishing and surfing, whatever it is that you want to do. Or go live on a mountain that you own, in some jungle. And whatever it is you want to do, you don't really need to be around people. So I think a lot of people could experience the positive parts of freedom and not be around people. So let's say that, what if you could have freedom in the same manner, but you didn't have any money? Okay, well, that's kind of an interesting idea. I mean, let's say that I didn't have to pay for anything ever again. You know, I could have whatever I wanted to, but money, exchange and money wasn't really part of my life. I didn't take money out and pay for things. Things just, whatever I wanted was just given to me. Would that be a good way to bypass money? Well, yeah, I think so, actually. I wouldn't need any money in the whole world. It would be like I was rich beyond my wildest imagination, because anything that I wanted, I could just have, right? Okay, so money isn't necessarily the root of freedom, but it is what we associate to it, this idea. But what if you had freedom, but you couldn't be happy with the freedom? Now, this is where we kind of run into a problem. It turns out that most of us, and I'd like to say all of us, have really one or two things in common. Everything else is a total wild card, but there are two things that I believe we do have in common, everyone. One is that we all want to be happy. We're all trying to be happy. We're all doing what we believe will make us happy. And the second thing is that we are confused, all of us. We think we know what's going to make us happy, but none of us really do know. And so, hence, this is what sort of brings forth all the ideas that we have about money, about success, about love, about all the things that we want. They're all because we believe they're going to make us happy in the future. So what I want to do is I want to take away all that stuff. I want to just focus on the idea of happiness in the future, and I want to do a visualization exercise with you. So what I want you to do is I want you to get out a piece of paper, hopefully a journal that you've been using throughout this video series so far in the membership area. If you haven't used the journal yet, then you can start right now. This is a good time to do it. And I want you to take a moment, and I want you to write out what I'm about to ask you to write out. So what I want you to do, here's the exercise. I want you to imagine 20 years in the future, 20, 25 years from now. And I want you to picture nothing yet. Just know that it's 25 years in the future. You can close your eyes if you want to. And I want you to only feel in yourself the ultimate level of content, the absolute level of happiness, pure happiness all the way through. No sense of negative emotion whatsoever. It's just devoid of negative emotion. You are nothing but a pure feeling of happiness is totally sort of flowing over you. And now, with that feeling in mind, 25 years in the future that you're thinking about 25 years in the future, I want you to paint the world around you. Just let it start to pop up. And keep this happiness feeling. If something pops up and you feel unhappy, erase it. Just get rid of it. Make it go away. If you're thinking, I'm standing on top of on the deck of a mansion overlooking the ocean, and that's what you believe is going to make you happy, but when you picture it, you have this weird feeling, this feeling of, I don't really know if this feels right. Something feels like it's missing. Start to take things away. Start to bring things in. Start to put people next to you. This is one of the ways that you can tell if someone is actually perfect for you, is going to be good for you moving forward, is someone that you could probably be with for the rest of your life if you do decide to get married, is whenever you put them next to you in this future projection, this happiness in the future, and you still have that level of total content, total happiness and love. So I want you to project into the future, put different people there, put different things there. The people, make sure you don't attach to them, but you attach instead to what they represent. If it's a beautiful woman and you can see her face, think about how she acts. Think about who she is as a woman, not her name or what she does for a job or whatever. So instead, just focus on what makes you happy in the future. And I want you to think about this for a moment and visualize it. And really take time to do it. I want you to pause this video, and I want you to write for at least 5 minutes straight. I want you to time it, start when the video pauses, and then press play again in 5 minutes when you're done writing. Just write for 5 minutes and write what you see in this exercise. At the end, go ahead and press play. I'm going to let you pause and do that now. Go. Okay, great. So I'm really glad you got to go through that experience, because it's exciting and yet surprising to see the things that we write down. I remember whenever I first did this exercise, I saw some things that changed my life. I didn't think that I wanted, a house with a white picket fence, and I don't even really like dogs, but I had to picture myself with these two kids running around in the yard, and a dog, and my wife standing in the front yard. and I was carrying a briefcase, and I don't know why. It just was, and I had glasses. I don't know what was going on, but I definitely visualized this. Now, over time, this can change, and if I do it again, I may have several different versions of this, and you may find that you had several different versions yourself. That's totally fine as long as in every single version you are perfectly happy. Now, when you combine this concept, this is what really makes a powerful, powerful impact in your life. The idea that you are proud of where you came from, that you have things to reach toward, that are the positive qualities in your heroes, and that you have an image in your mind of what will make you perfectly happy in the future. That is what makes up who you are. If you know these three things and you've done these three exercises, you have a very strong, strong understanding of who you are as a person. This is very important because women, when they meet you, if you're kind of scattered and you don't know who you are, you're not comfortable and confident as a man in who you are, they will not be able to buy into your frame, so to speak. They will not be able to be themselves unapologetically around you. They will try to play a game and put up a front, and so will you. And the problem is that you can't maintain a front like this. It just doesn't work. So try this out and really hope if you didn't do this exercise, go back right now and do the exercise. It's very, very crucial that you do it. If you don't do it, you will not get the results that you're expecting with the women that you want. I really highly suggest that you do this exercise. Thank you so much for tuning in today. I can't wait to see you in a couple of days here. Practice that, meditate on it for a bit, not like in a traditional sense of meditation, but just think about it for a bit. And let me know. Comment below if you can, and let me know what you think about it, and let me know how it's sort of affected you and how you've come to realize some things about yourself. If you feel like sharing, go ahead, and I will obviously be very happy to share my own pictures in the future as well. So that's it for today. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you in a couple of days.